Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliates.
Mike and Felicia Sparks, owner of the Vanity Zone Salon, want to invite you to stop in for your next haircut or color. Their stylists Michelle, Tori, Tracy, Brandy, Sarah, and Gail offer the best creative cuts and color for all ages, for men and women. The Vanity Zone is located at 732 Nissan Drive in Smyrna, to the right of the Crystals Restaurant. To look and feel your best, visit the Vanity Zone Salon today. Call 615-355-1721 to book your next appointment.
Is your car running like a dream, or does it need a little TLC? At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we treat your vehicle like it's one of our own. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
Been coming to them ever since he opened up. Good family. I recommend other people to get them repaired here because I knew they would do it and do it right. Been happy to send people to him because I trust what he does so much.
We're crazy about him. It's all about the doctor.
For quality care you can trust, visit Dr. Automotive in Smyrna. We've got the cure for your car.
Hi there, my name is Rusty Russ. I, along with my sons, Luke and Reed Russ, sell real estate for Stevens Group in the Middle Tennessee area. We are a team of professionals who have the knowledge of local and regional market, which allows us to offer you a full range of commercial, industrial, residential, and investment real estate services, matching our resources with your needs. You can call us at 615-366-8900 or at my cell 615-406-5553 or email jrustyrust@comcast.net.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale Store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
When I say VFW, you probably have some visions of a smoke-filled bar with a bunch of old-timers eyeballing you. Well, the Stones River VFW is doing things different. No smoke-filled rooms, no turning prospective members away, and a strong emphasis on camaraderie and community. We believe in instilling our American values in our young people through numerous programs such as Voice of Democracy, Patriots Pen, Scout of the Year, and VFW Teacher of the Year. The Stones River Post intends on becoming a driving force to help, aid, and assist wartime veterans. So if you're one of those veterans with a campaign medal and you want that sense of purpose that you've been missing, then give our recruiter, Andrew Farr, a call at 615-490-5715.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to celebraterecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Eric Brown, I was going to mention his his new daughter, his new granddaughter. Can y'all hear it? All right, Roger Thomas's favorite song by the Village People. What's the name of that song again?
What?
YMCA?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
YMCA. Anyways, I haven't liked the song. Y'all like the song, don't you?
Yeah, I've heard it. I'm 60. I've
Heard
heard
it?
it a few times.
You've heard it.
I heard it when it came out.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that's a big hit back in the day.
It was.
We could do the hand signals with roller skates.
Oh yeah,
falling.
that was cool.
Well, I grew up Baptist. We weren't allowed to sing it.
You couldn't sing?
No, it was too close to.
Well, that's Church of Christ. We couldn't roller skate.
No,
Okay.
or you can't say amen or clap. But before we get into that, I want to wish you. I know Pettis Reed, Commissioner Pettis Reed was in the hospital. Pettis, if you listen, hope you're doing good, brother. And shout out to our former Rotary president Eric Brown, who just had a grandbaby, and little grandbaby Abigail Linda Brown. So congratulations, Eric. Man, if when you get grandkids, y'all got grandkids?
Amen.
1.5.
Grandkids will change your life.
Sure do.
Connor, do you have any grandkids yet? How old are you? None that you know of. Roger has a couple grandkids, don't you?
Well, I got a great granddaughter at 6.
Great granddaughter.
Yeah, he said 60. I'm 70, so I got you but 10.
We're doing dueling banjos here. Is that anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, but I do. Grandkids. I think you just tend to look at life a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Did y'all notice it? I mean,
Well, I like the grandkids better than the kids.
well,
And they own you. You know that.
Yeah, there's a saying, if I'd known how much fun grandkids were, I'd have had them first.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of truth to that, seriously, because they just melt your heart. You know what I mean? And I was telling Eric, I texted him, I just said, dude, they will like change your life. You hear it, like I even send him pictures of my grandkids, like, hey, look at these pictures. You hear those stories, and I can understand why.
That's why I have you blocked on my phone.
Oh, was that it?
That's right. After about 300 photos, I thought
I see
I get the idea.
my little grandbaby Grace, and at my in-laws, she's come run over with her arms held up too. Oh man, it melts your heart.
Well, I think it reminds you when your kids were little again, and so that's what it is. I think it's just your kids.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, because I miss the small stage.
I tend to. Who was it just said the grandkids are? I don't know. It's just something about grandkids. I don't know. I guess maybe that's part of it, but it is. There's something psychological there. Though.
Well, it's headlights and taillights.
Yeah.
You're excited to see them come, and you can be glad when they go.
Oh, my wife.
But your kids are there for 24/7 for 18 years.
It can be a challenge. She's been keeping them 3 days a week, and we got a new little 5-month-old, and he's doing good. He's doing really good.
Now, are you a papaw? What are you?
I'm a pops.
Pop. Me too. I'm a pops.
You pops?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you, Roger?
Grandpa.
I didn't want to be grandpa. I remember my mother.
kids started calling me pops while they were still living at home.
Pops is kind of cool.
Because I wanted them to call me daddy. That was a southern. I'm from Illinois, and I wanted them to call me daddy because that was a kind of a southern thing. I thought they wouldn't do it. Then
Really?
We met halfway in on
Oh,
pops,
okay.
and that was
I
our-
like pops.
Yeah.
I remember when we had our kids pretty young. My wife she was 18. You know, I was 22, and she was 15. We started dating. I was 19.
Okay.
There's laws against that today.
Yeah, that's right.
We're
You went to
going on-
Ringgold, Georgia. Is that where you went?
We're going on 36 years. Give
Oh,
God
good
the
for
glory.
you.
Yeah, it's rare. My dad was married 5 times.
Same woman or
No, different women.
different women?
Well,
Okay.
4 for sure. An annulment. I don't know if it's 5, but he was a hard guy. Like everybody thinks you're a hard fella, and old fellowship. I mean, you and who's that other guy, the Downton Thomas guy? Todd.
Todd Graff.
Todd,
yeah,
man,
Todd.
he's a rough one, ain't he?
He sure is.
Man, he'll just start arguing with everybody in the middle of a
Rode hard and hung
Bible
up wet.
study. You know, like,
That's
oh,
right.
wow. He's a northerner, isn't he?
I'm not sure where Todd's from. I don't
I
know that
think
many
he's-
states will claim him.
He's a northerner.
We'll have to get the FBI records on him to track that down.
No, but you know what? I do like his perspective. I like somebody that just shakes it up a little bit.
Oh, good. You're gonna love me.
Well, good. That's what we need. We need some.
I'm the
shaking
devil's
up.
advocate.
All right. Well, speaking of the devil,
Yes.
I got cussed out by a priest this week. At the St.
Yeah,
Capitol.
tell
I
that story.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing, man. The world has just gone mad, brother. I literally got cussed out by a fake woman priest.
Okay.
I just and David Settles. If David's listening, David's the president of NAACP.
Now, where was this?
This was at State Capitol.
Okay.
Yeah, and about 50 people witnessed it. But it was just craziest thing. You know, I try to be good to everybody, but I just had my school bus bill. You know, I've got this school bus legislation where people don't see the things I see. If people see what I've seen, they know why I feel like I do. Because don't ever trust government. Don't ever trust the federal government, state government, or local government.
Way ahead of you.
I promise you, there's not. Sometimes they do knucklehead things. Well, we had sadly that bad bus crash in Chattanooga. The guy shouldn't have been driving the school bus. Parents had complained about his speed. And, you know, Chattanooga's got the mountains and the
I
hills.
just came through Chattanooga about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and parents had complained on him. Others, students even complained. He had some priors. He was 24, wrecked a school bus doing 50 and a 30. And sadly, 6 young children perished. And about 25 students were injured. So the knee-jerk reaction of government is a solved problem. You know what they did? The guy was 24. They said, you got to be 25 to drive. that was their... seriously, this the Department of Safety come up with this idea. We're the most restrictive in every state in the nation. We're the most restrictive of any country in the nation. I can't make this stuff up. We're more restrictive than Russia, Cuba, Estonia, Denmark, Germany, Great Britain, and even North Korea. I can't make this stuff up. So anyways, we got the bill passed this week going down to 21. Well, now I got the governor coming out against it. I like the governor, but Department of Safety, then I've got both chairmen fighting me. But I had David Settles up, and thank you, David, for coming up. He's on the Murfreesboro School Board. He's also a school bus driver that had Isaiah Heineck come up. Yeah, and David's a great guy. And Isaiah, he testified. Awesome testimony, both these guys. So we were able to pass it. It was tight. So David's seen the fake priest cussing me. He was like, man. So David witnessed this, and I was like, these are the times we're in. I mean, it's like paid disrupt. I think they're paid to come up here and disrupt, cause chaos. But anyways, you know, I'm a forgiving guy. You know, you move on.
Just between you and me,
it is what it is.
Did you have it coming, Mike?
No, I was nice. I just told her to be. Shh. I just said, shh.
Because this isn't the first time something like that's happened, right?
Well, at that, I mean, I'm kind of used to a little bit, but not at that level.
Right.
She's just real loud, and that's just not the way to behave. I promise you, if Judge Tidwell's listening, or Judge Toby Gillies listening, or Jimmy Turner, they wouldn't put up with their courtroom. I promise you would. Mayor Joe Carr wouldn't put up with it. Chairman Jeff Phillips wouldn't put up with it. But we have to put up with it. I mean, at the legislature, it's like, okay, it's, you know, literally the committee got shut down by undocumented immigrants. Shut your government down, folks. People don't see what I see. The media is never going to paint that narrative. They're not going to report the truth. They literally shut, and I had a bill up that'll help, that I think is going to help this fast-growing county, and they literally shut it down. So they had to wait. I got to wait till next week. But that's never going to be reported, you know. But anyways, what One thing that I think needs to be reported is the issue of the growing fatherless rate, lack of positive mentors, and that's why I've got y'all up tonight. So Dan McAnally, welcome,
thank you
and
for having
Lance
us. Finley.
Finley.
Yep.
Finley. So y'all have got the nonprofit called the Leader
Mill.
Leader Mill. All right. Tell us a little about it.
All right. So what we talked about a little bit before is that you've got a problem in this society where young men don't know how to be men.
Mm-hmm.
They have a desire to show that they've got what it takes, but they don't know the pathway to get there.
Yeah.
We've lost that connection between that right to manhood, and in the old days we'd have an apprenticeship and journeyman, where they would partner up and they'd get there. So now it seems that guys are supposed to figure it out on their own, and a lot of them, the majority of them, are saying, I'm just going to play video games in mom's basement because I'm guaranteed to win that way.
Yeah.
And if I screw up, I can just spam save and start over. But life is too scary. And so what we want to do is come alongside and say, look, every Saturday we're going to bring in men that know what they're doing in an area, and we're going to combine them with these young men and show them you can be good at things, you can learn things, you can succeed.
Yes. I had on Facebook, I played, I don't know if Connor could play this video. Connor, can you pull that up? Maybe it may take you a little while, and maybe we could share that. Are we allowed to share that?
Yeah, is it on your Facebook page?
Yeah, but how do you plug it in through,
Yeah, I can pull it on Facebook like I do YouTube and play
Yeah,
over there.
but I was asking Dan, we just done a little quick Facebook Live. Your father was not in your life growing up.
No, he wasn't. He was a bad guy most of the time.
Yep.
And then he did everybody a favor and kind of went AWOL.
Did he really?
I grew up in.
Was he former military or anything, or what?
No, he was He was a full-time philanderer.
Oh, okay.
That means he was generous?
Yes, as far as
Very
we'll talk
generous.
later. Okay. If you ever saw the show Mad Men, it was a TV show. There was a main character, was
Yeah.
a guy named Don Draper.
Okay.
On a very much smaller scale, that was my dad.
Yeah.
He was a Mutual of Omaha salesman.
Okay.
When I say that, our age, we think Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom,
Yep,
right?
I remember it. Great show.
He was a salesman, top of the line. He joined their company in about their third month of their fiscal year, and as a rookie, he was the salesman of the year for the nation.
Wow.
He was able to do in 10 months more than what his other sales guys could do in a full year. One of all expenses paid trip to Hawaii. Matter of fact, my mother was pregnant with me when they did that trip. I don't have many memories about it.
Yeah.
Remember
You do remember your dad?
Oh yeah, I remember.
seeing?
Yeah.
Okay.
How old were you?
Well, he was. They got divorced on my 12th birthday. We didn't have a party about that, but he was gone by then, and he was non-existent probably for 4 or 5 years before that. He was drunk sometimes, and he would come home and beat up mom. And then my oldest brother, who was 5 years older than me, he'd try to get into the middle of it to protect his mom, and then he'd take the hits.
Is he still around, your brother?
He is. He lives up in Chicago area.
Now, what happened to your dad? Where'd he go?
He took off. Went to Missouri for a little while.
Yeah.
Last time our middle brother, he passed away about 20 years ago, and I was elected to reach out and find our dad because I felt it was important that he at least be notified that his son had passed away.
Exactly.
And it was hard to get a hold of him. I found him somewhere out in Missouri, a town called Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
I don't know where that is. But he was on vacation with his latest girlfriend. They'd gone to Branson, Missouri to go see, what do they call that? Country Vegas or whatever, Branson, Missouri, with all the shows out there. And the timing was great because he was out of town. If he had shown up for the service for my brother, he would have made it all about him. And he's just not a good guy. But he was gone. I grew up. God provided me some men in my life. We had a minister of music and youth that came into our church.
Your mom was always in church?
Oh yeah,
Good.
My mother is still with us. My mother is Southern Baptist, and she's also a Christian, and it's kind of in that order. Okay,
So you're saying if you're just because you're Southern Baptist don't mean you're Christian?
Well, according to her,
okay.
If you need to know one thing about her, it's that she's Southern Baptist.
Okay.
And then the Christian thing, sure, that'll work.
Yeah.
She loves Jesus, loves the Lord.
Yeah.
And my middle brother, was a Southern Baptist pastor. He went to Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary.
Okay.
Met his wife there, and he came back, and he contracted MS about 10 years into their marriage, and didn't last very long.
Yeah.
Funniest guy I ever knew.
Yeah.
Funniest guy. He looked like Woody Allen.
Okay. Yeah.
Looked like Woody Allen, and had the sharpest wit of anybody. Just quick, just awesome.
Yeah.
He went to school and was going to be. His aspirations were to be the press secretary of the United States for the president.
Oh wow.
That was his drive. He was going to do that. He was a journalist. He was big dog at our junior college and the big dog at Southern Illinois University. He was on that track.
Yeah.
And then Jim Brady, who was Ronald Reagan's press secretary, took a bullet for the president.
Yep.
And somehow, coincidentally, right after that, our brother got called into ministry. That was weird.
Okay.
We thought, what a coincidence, you know?
Yeah.
But he said he went to seminary, and one of the things he learned there was that he graduated with a lot of men whose moms were called to the ministry.
Their moms, okay.
Now, that was a commentary. He was trying to tell us that there were a lot of guys that loved Jesus, that wanted to chase after their calling in life, but really they were following mom's calling for their lives. And he was concerned about what was going to come down the road, 10, 15, 20 years from now, when our churches were full of pastors who really weren't called to be pastors. They were called to be great men, to love Jesus and be great fathers and great all this.
That's a tough job being a minister. Could you imagine?
It can be a very thankless task.
I think a youth leader would be even harder because you got to please the kids, got to please the parents, got to please the eldership.
That's right. So my brother, he was a pastor for a while, and he got sick and passed away, and had two lovely kids. We try to keep up with them.
Yeah.
My older brother lives up in Chicago area. He's got kids. We try to stay in touch with them. And my mom's still in our hometown.
Yeah.
And
what's the name of the town?
Marion, Illinois.
Marion, Illinois. What part of Illinois is that?
That's the southern part of Illinois. And now look, I know a lot of people.
We always prejudge Illinois. You're all the same.
A lot of people.
You're all from Chicago.
Will claim to be from Marion, name dropping to try to impress people.
Yeah.
But I really am. I'm not just saying that. You may have heard.
You're not bragging.
No. No.
Just keeping it real.
Marion shows up from time to time in older movies because there was a federal penitentiary there.
Oh, okay.
In the 50s, when they shut down Alcatraz, they moved all of the prisoners from Alcatraz to Marion Federal Penitentiary.
Wow.
Yeah, right outside our hometown.
Wow.
So that's how we kind of got on the map.
Yeah.
And then up the road was a minimum security prison, almost like a camp, where Pete Rose served his time when he got busted for gambling. Now, the reason that's important is because Ray Fosse, who was a catcher for the Oakland A's, he's the catcher at that famous grainy video of Pete Rose slamming a guy at home plate, running over the catcher at home plate for an all-star game.
Mm-hmm.
That catcher was Ray Fosse.
And they were at the same pen.
Ray Fosse's from Marion. That was his hometown.
Oh.
And so everybody in Marion had an axe to grind with Pete Rose after that, because it kind of messed up Ray Fosse's career after that.
Okay.
And he was a great player in his own right, but everybody had a grudge against Pete Rose. And then when he got arrested and sent to prison, where'd they send him? They sent him to Marion Minimum Security Prison.
How long did he serve? Did you ever hear?
I think it was about 4 years.
That long?
I think it was, about 4. And again, it was more like a camp.
Well, he kept betting he'd get off with good behavior.
That's right.
Betting. Yeah.
He said, I'll bet I'll be out here in 30 days.
So, Lance, tell me about this nonprofit. It goes back 20 years?
Well, the planning for it, their inspiration for it, we started to see evidence of young men not
Leader Mill.
Picking up the
so if somebody wants to search right now, it's leadermill.
Leadermill.org
has
a listing of descriptions of it.
Yeah.
Especially on the site is a description of the different types of mentors.
Yeah.
Like 9 different areas that some men might not fit in one and feel more blessed in another or gifted in an area.
Yeah. Let me say, we have 3 primary constituents.
Yeah.
The first one is going to be obviously the students that we will refer to as cadets. These are the men that we're trying to train. We're going to take no more than 6 men per class. We're going to pour into them for about 9 months or so.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that full time. They'll have a full-time job, 40-hour work week, learning how to use their hands and blue-collar skills. At nights, Tuesday nights, they're going to have godly women, groups of godly women come in to their residence and say, as a matter of fact, that's not what a clean bathroom looks like. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
Or here's how to clip coupons or do a budget or to cook for other people, how to tie a tie, how to iron a shirt, things like that.
Yeah.
On Thursday nights, we have what we call Theology Thursday, and we're going to have some of the best biblical teachers in this area come in and teach these guys biblical
Well, how do you
principles.
incentivize a young guy? Because I'll be honest with you, when I was 16, 17, 18, I would have never been interested in that sort of thing.
Well, it's not for everybody.
It's extremely tough. We specifically are saying we're limiting it to 6.
Yeah.
And we say the math is something like if there's 100 churches in the area and 60 of them are chasing after God's will, and 1 in 10 has a young man who's not sure what he wants to do, but he knows he wants to chase after God, and he's got to get out of the house, maybe we can help him.
One thing that helps narrow the focus a bit is that, there's lots of services out there like Big Brothers, Big Sisters that says we're going to take care of the people that don't have parents at home or they're at risk or whatever. We're not geared for someone who has mental health issues, who's had behavioral issues, drug addictions, or if there's a young one on the way, we're not going to be able to have a facility for them in that.
Yeah. Well, we take a quick break, and on the way back, Connor, you think we can set up that video?
Yeah, I have it pulled up.
I think this video is really touching. I mean, I know Roger thinks it's he doesn't get touched by it, but it's if you listen to this when we come back from commercial break, y'all have probably seen it. To me, it's very moving. Okay, let's take a quick break. We're right back.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps, but I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available at select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliates.
Mike and Felicia Sparks, owner of the Vanity Zone Salon, want to invite you to stop in for your next haircut or color. Their stylists Michelle, Tori, Tracy, Brandy, Sarah, and Gail offer the best creative cuts and color for all ages, for men and women. The Vanity Zone is located at 732 Nissan Drive in Smyrna, to the right of the Crystals Restaurant. To look and feel your best, visit the Vanity Zone Salon today. Call 615-355-1721 to book your next appointment.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. Let's hear what some customers have to say about Dr. Automotive.
I just really appreciate Danny and his whole team. I always feel like I'm going to get great service and the right outcome.
You just don't find any better people.
He's always been very good.
We've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
All right, we're back. Conversation with Mike Sparks, your host Mike Sparks. We're going to play this clip real quick. This is, a lot of people have probably seen this. What TV show was that from?
The Jenny Jones show.
Who?
The Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones show. This was probably back in the late 90s.
Yeah, 80s, 90s.
And so, anyways, this is a clip you're going to hear. This is very tough. We're talking about the fatherless and lack of fathers, which I think has really hurt our culture today. I mean, our prison population's growing. We see behavior issues through the roof. I mean, I hear teachers complain about it, and See, more drug use. So it's an area that I think correlates with the lack of fathers. But listen, here's this clip. Go ahead, Connor.
You love that woman right there? You love her, right? Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're not an adult till you're 18. Do you want me to be your daddy for the next 8 years, son? Huh?
Yes, sir.
You do? Why you want me to be your daddy?
I have no daddy.
You have no daddy? Well, let me tell you something. Come here, give me a hug.
A lot of folks have probably seen that's very touching. You know, this just so happens. I mean, you and I were just talking the other day. You know, I've got a father's resolution this week on the House floor. I believe it'll probably be in 2 weeks on the House floor. This is an issue that I don't think nobody really addresses. Very few pastors are going to talk about this issue, in my opinion. It's hard for government to solve problems. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what was it Reagan said? The most terrifying words
nine words.
The
from the government. I'm here to help.
Yeah. And there's a lot of truth to that. But a lot of people say, well, it's the church. Let the church do it. Well, I mean, how's the church going to do anything when, you know, a lot of church attendance is off, you know. So this is what I appreciate about y'all. You just happened to see me at Men of Hope, you know, which we're up to what, 170 guys now on the rolls. Is that right? I think on the rolls.
On the rolls, but we do pack in about a good 40.
Oh, dude! Hey, if the fire marshal would have been there, they'd have run us out.
They sure would.
Because it was packed. In fact, you gave up your seat for who's it? Justin Bailey.
Justin Bailey, yeah. He's a pastor at Christ Life Church.
He's at Christ Life Church. Okay, so we probably had 40 guys cram that little room.
Yeah.
And shout out Nick Corbett and for cooking, and Chuck Isbell for setting up all the chairs.
Right.
Chuck gets there at what, 6 in the morning or something.
He gets there early, way earlier than he needs to. Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's an early bird. I'm not.
Early
My
bird.
wife come in the bedroom. She goes, it's 7. They started 7:30. She goes, it's 7:34, and I jumped up and took off, you know, and ran in there. But I ran by Dan Eppright. You know, Dan was walking in real slow. He was late too, and I come running in there past him. You know, shake it up a little bit. But why do you think no one talks about this issue? About the fatherless and that correlation.
It's not as popular, and it's so prevalent. I think they're afraid they might be hurting someone's feelings. But I've got a lot of family on my wife's side that are all educators.
Yeah,
and they're tasked with controlling the kids, and they don't know what. Each time they figure out something, they change the rules or say you can't do that or this will hurt somebody's feelings. And the real issue is that when you have a parent-teacher conference meeting, the parents that show up are the ones that are involved.
Yeah,
the ones that need to be there are not. Now, I was constantly surprised at my parents' surprise. After every parent-teacher conference, I got a beating.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah. I knew it was coming. It was the pattern every year. You know, had to establish the authority of the teacher. Yeah. And after they did that,
where'd you grow up at?
Detroit.
Oh, you're one of them too.
Yeah,
huh?
Southern Michigan.
Southern Michigan. So you're a Southerner. Yeah,
I got here as soon as I could.
You don't have that accent though.
No, a circuitous route.
Okay. Yeah. Jeremy, do you want to chime in? You had a comment. You want to say something? Anyways, I thought you were going to say something
Jeremy about what?
About what we're talking about.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a very, very stable relationship with my dad. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that I can't relate, but I sympathize with those who don't have fathers. And, you know, I had, you know, one of my good friends in high school. His dad was in prison. And, all right, well, now that you got me talking about it, I'm going to tell a little story. I was actually taking him home one day from band practice. I was in marching band. And my Bible was sitting in my passenger seat. I can't remember what I was doing that had my Bible for some reason, but it led to sort of a small, short theological conversation in the car on the way back to his home. And he was respectful about it. He said, "Hey, you mind if I move your Bible real quick?" He said, "Yeah, sure. Don't, no problem. Yeah, you can move it in the back seat." And so he just put it in the back seat, and then somewhere along the road we got talking, and I said, I can't remember how the conversation ended up to where we were talking about faith, and I don't know if he broached the question of dads, but here's how it happened. He said, "Oh well, I'm an atheist," and he sort of equated to, "Well, my father's in prison. I don't have anybody to guide me in that sort of line."
Yeah.
I mean, again, we were sophomores in high school. We couldn't. I feel like we didn't have like know how to express that sort of like, "Oh well, this is my life. I don't know how to do anything, so I'm just not going to do anything about it." And so, but I started talking to him a little bit about why I think I asked, like, have you ever tried to like even talk to him while he's in prison? He said, no, I don't have a reason to talk to him if he's in prison. So,
wow.
But yeah.
Well, I had a father that still do. I mean, I just came back from Florida from visiting him.
Yeah.
But growing up, he wasn't always in my life. There was expectations, but
your mom and dad were together.
Oh yeah, they still are.
Okay.
Yep.
Good for you.
But there was expectations without encouragement. It was, here's what I expect you to do. Now,
how old is your dad right now?
He's 83.
So he wasn't in the Korean War or nothing like that.
No,
he would
no,
have
no,
been
no.
too young.
He was in line to go to Vietnam.
Oh wow.
Okay.
He was at that age.
Yeah.
But
was he about to when it ended?
He would put his name on the list, and then go back each week and scratch it out and put it higher on the list. And they told him to stop doing that. But he was saying, okay, if I get drafted, I can say I'm already on the line for the Air Force or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was not drafted.
But you think, like this week in the General Assembly, the media is quiet about this. Your pastors are silent about this.
Yeah.
The General Assembly, there's some lawmakers trying to raise interest rates. All these little title pond, check into bankruptcy.
Okay.
Don't get your title back with Title Max. Don't ever use those places, folks. Go to Guido. Go to Tony, the knuckle breaker. Go to that guy before you go to these places. I mean, they'll probably cut you a better deal.
Now, is this the bill that you're talking
The
about?
one, yeah, it's terrible. House Bill 775. Jack Johnson, Dennis Powers, and I like Dennis. I like Jack.
What are they trying to do?
We're trying to raise interest rates to allow these payday loans that charge more money. See, nobody knows this stuff. This is what kills me.
But why would they want to do that?
Lobbying, brother.
Oh, okay,
big money. Most powerful lobbyists in the state of Tennessee are your title pond payday loans.
Really?
Yeah. That's one of the most powerful ones. They'll be pissed at me talking about this. I guarantee it. But this is what's going on in our culture. Nobody sees this stuff, man. And you're seeing this stuff, and no one's going to talk about it. I mean, I'm going to talk about it. But I'm gonna make some people mad when I want to talk about it, and I'll probably lose some friends, and they'll probably try to vote against my legislation. That's the little game that gets played, and it's really sad. But one thing that I'll bring up about my dad, he didn't believe in debt.
Right.
No debt. He said pay cash for everything.
Yep.
But I was making $1.50 an hour at 13. How am I gonna? But I saved up money for the '69 Camaro that he got me started on the '69 Camaro, and
was that your first car?
My first one. He bartered. I wrote a book, Learn to Barter. He traded a motorcycle for the '69 Camaro, and that saved up like $300 for the paint job, saved up for the wheels, saved up for the get the interior redone. Then I sold it. I think I sold it at 16, made $1,000 on it at 16. So that's chunk of change back in the day. But in fact, I bought a house with no money out of pocket over on Week Lane, and had a used Mercedes. I was about 28, and my dad didn't speak to me for like 4 months because he just did not believe in any debt. He lived through the Great Depression. He was World War II.
Right.
But I had that in my life, even though they were divorced. But if you never had that in your life, and you just see oh man, we're going to offer you 11%. Yeah, it's 11%. Okay, it's 11% a month. This is the stuff that people don't know. This stuff, man.
That's your Guido rate.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, I made a video about this. If folks go to YouTube, type in ms.helen predatory lending. It was a black woman. They were trying to take her car. She thought she was born at 11%, and it was 132%. They were after her car, man. This is dark, brother.
That's right.
And your Phil Williams of the world, he's not going to say anything. Scott Brown's not going to report on this stuff. Dan Eppright, Dave Gold. I mean, Dave probably would. Bursville Post, those folks. But if it wasn't for a father, I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known anything about that. But that's where, I think young men want discipline. I think they want guidance.
Yes, but they don't know how to get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, I've had the main protester at MTSU over Nathan Bedford Forrest became an intern. We got along great. And I think it was because I don't think he really had a father figure in his life. And then my other assistant, young African American. He's now in law school. Marvin, he knocked on 4,000 doors for me. We got along great, but he had no skill sets. Now he does now. I mean, but as far as like literally, our dog had died. Our dog literally died in my wife's arm. My wife called and was like, just messed up. And Marvin happened to be over there, and I was at a meeting or doing something, and my father-in-law come and got my assistant. And Marvin, if you're listening, sorry, he may not like me telling this story. And my father-in-law got him. They went over. They were going to bury the dog.
Yeah.
You know, it was a pretty mid-sized dog. And he had never used a shovel in his life. He had never worked on his car, never put air in his tires, never mowed the yard. But he grew up inner city Nashville. I mean, inner city Memphis, you know. So those are skills that...
Well, you're scared to try it. If a guy can't win, he's not going to play. And I think these young men don't have the basic skills. They don't know who to ask, and they don't want to ask somebody for help because we're all supposed to look like we have it together.
Yes, I think we got a caller. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
Is it me?
Yes. Hey, how you doing?
It's Trish Nash.
What's going on? Hadn't seen you in a while.
I know. I just had this compassion to call you because, listen, I support your bill so much. And I think people should understand this. You're not paying me to say this.
Yeah, no.
But, you know, I was adopted, but I was raised pretty much from a father that grew up in the 30s. And no one needs to have high interest to borrow. These kids are trying to impress people or getting into debt, just like our country has gotten into debt.
Yes.
We don't have to impress. We have to pay our bills. Everybody has to. And listen, you know my life.
Yes.
Well, you don't know my life, but you know me.
Well, I knew you grew up, with all due respect, you were an orphan, right?
I was, but I was blessed with a lot of angels, and I don't want to get into my.
No, you're okay, but I mean, you know, you got a real story.
Grace, I'm so proud of your real granddaughter being Grace.
Oh, isn't that cool?
And I'm not doing a testimonial or anything right now, but I just want to say to you, this is a wonderful bill because there are lots of fathers that haven't stepped up. But I always said, even though don't know who my real father is, but there is my God, Father,
Amen.
My Father in heaven. But
yes.
men don't need to impress women with trying to get into debt with money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my point, and I think what you're trying to say with all this borrowing money and getting in, I mean, our country's been actually not a good thing for anyone.
No.
But I'm going to cut off right now, but I was compelled to call you because I just feel like that we need to know that we have to pay our bills. We have to not get into all this debt to try to impress anyone.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're like, I mean, you might not like me to get this little thing to Dave Ramsey and my son-in-law, who also is a financial advisor, but, you know, you can start. And just like with even Marty, I worked for him a little while, and he even said, if you start right now, kids could only understand, if you could put back money right now and keep putting it in there, you know, you don't have to impress people.
Yes.
You know, don't owe anyone.
Yes.
My father was from the 30s, you know, and when you live back in those times, you just need to pay your bills.
Yep.
And so was our United States.
Yes, ma'am. Amen. Yeah. Thank you, Trish. You know, I was reading the other day with Social Security. I think they expect that to become defunct in 8 years?
Sounds about right.
Boy, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to that check?
I've already spent it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think somebody else already spent it.
You know, it really is. That's what I like about Doge. That's what I like about Elon Musk. You know,
well, who's really against it? I mean, anybody that comes forward and says they're squawking about stopping government waste, and I'd say, well,
they've got special interest.
Yeah, you're making some money off that then.
Yep.
Part of that system. It's like Dan. I was on Dan Manning's show Friday morning, 99.7. Dan's a great guy, and he knew about this, knew about the school bus legislation. He wanted me to come up. We talked about it. He's been following this raising interest rate bill that everybody's silent on. If you're a minister right now, you've been silent. You didn't speak about it this morning. I can promise you. Nobody knows what's going on because they keep it down. Yeah. But he took a little poll. 99% of the people, 99 people called, 100 people called in or texted him. 99 out of them said that General Assembly don't need to raise interest rates to help these. I mean, the argument is so funny when they make the argument, well, they've suffered from inflation. I mean, it's like, what? It's ridiculous. I can't make this stuff up, man. It's so crazy. And one person wanted to see interest rates increase. I told Dan, I said, I promise you that's a guy or a woman that owns a payday loan industry. Yeah. But that's what is sad, that this is going on. And it gets down, it gets down lobbying. It just gets down lobbying.
I can't imagine anybody that would be for it. I don't see a.
Why, let me ask you this, because we don't even know each other. We just we met. Why would somebody be for that?
Well, I think that what you're saying, if there's got to be some money going back.
There's something going on,
because when you look at any kind of someone starting from poverty, you do not have a car, so you're spending more time riding public transit or walking places. I can't make it to a grocery store in my area, so I'm having to go to a Dollar General or some smaller, higher priced per ticket item. Everything is stacked against you. It costs more to be at that poverty level, and it makes that next step up to being self-sufficient higher and higher.
Yes, it's just an endless cycle. The sad thing, these issues really aren't Democrat, Republican.
No.
They're both in on it. The media's in on it. And if folks think Mike Sparks, you're wrong. Watch the news tonight. Watch the commercials. How much money are they paying these people on these commercials? That is a big revenue stream for the mainstream media.
Oh yeah. Weather report brought to you by Kroger. Come on, get your milk and bread.
Well, you look at the check into cash. I see these commercials, and I'm like, it's so sad, because like Miss Helen, she thought she was borrowing money at 11%. The sad thing about it, she had a sister in the car that was battling cancer. She's now passed, that was special needs. They were trying, I can't, Dale the repo man was calling her. They were trying to go get her car, and he didn't know me, so I asked him, hey man, you mind if I video? He didn't know what I was doing, I just started videoing. I said, how much money are you charging? He said, 11%. I said, and I zoomed in on the contract with my phone. That's why you need to watch a YouTube video. Miss Helen, Predatory Lending. It's 132% interest. He was trying to take her car, and no one's going to look into this stuff. You think about it. You lure people in. It's like a drug dealer. Hey, brother, here's a couple of samples.
Wait,
man.
why are you pointing at me when you say drug dealer?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Just you get them in, you get them hooked, and you got them, and then they're your slave pretty much. Then you take their car, then you sell the car for a chunk of change profit. That person can't get the car out. Who's going to help? No attorney's going to help them.
Right.
There's no advocacy out there.
Yeah, it's an endless cycle. So I think what we're trying to do is get that legacy going.
Yes.
Where someone, we've had a disconnect with
it is so
father
needed.
and the family coming around this young person, training them up. My dad, when he was young, his parents were Depression era. My grandfather tried to start a tool and die shop in Detroit.
Yeah.
He's up in Flint, but 3 times, and he was not wise, and there were liens against the material, and so he would invest in this. Then the family go bankrupt. 8 kids on a farm, and so my dad being the oldest, my grandmother would come up to him and say, "Gary, I don't want you to ever take a risk. Look what this has done to our family." So my dad had the legacy of fear that I inherited.
Yes.
So the way you solve your problems is ignore everything and outwork it. Workaholism, and that's not healthy either.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that legacy, whatever.
Well, they work hard, then they neglect their family.
Yeah.
They're not there.
And I've had to struggle against that too.
Yes.
I know we're short on time.
Oh yeah.
I want to share with your viewers a couple of things before we took off. We've got some workshops coming up that are geared towards young men.
At Hope Fellowship.
It's at Hope Fellowship.
Okay, on Lee Victor Parkway, 1429 Lee Victor.
Sounds about right.
Okay,
yeah.
across from Dollar General, right there.
This Saturday, as a matter of fact, we got our first workshop. Jeremy, are you signed up for that yet? Or are you out of town? Or
he already knows how to change a tire.
Yeah, I actually do.
We're going to teach young men.
I actually had to do it one time in Chattanooga. I went and bumped up against a curve and it popped my tire, so I had to pull up into a parking lot and change my tire in the middle of downtown Chattanooga.
So what time do you start?
Check-ins at 7:30 on Saturday.
7:30.
Breakfast will be provided.
Man, that's early though, for these young guys.
Well, it'll weed out the ones that are
let
not
me take
leader milk material.
Yeah, let me take a second and address that because that comes up quite a bit.
Yes.
And if I get no other point across, because there are other people in this world who are wanting to help young men be great men, and I think by definition, it is impossible for us to create good men if we continue to treat them like children. And I'm surprised we do get a lot of pushback from people with our particular approach of insisting that they be somewhere on time.
On time, yeah.
Or 7:30 is awfully. I don't know. I only know my own experience, and I know that I've had to be at work at 5 and 4. And again, we're going to feed them, and they're going to learn a valuable skill, and we won't take their whole day.
Yeah.
But by
you're out pretty quick, though, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to be done in 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
But I want to be respectful to our mentors who are giving their time for free.
And they're experts.
And we're not going to, we're not going to tie them up all day. And so we want young men who want to be better to be a part of this. Yeah. But I'll say this, if 7:30 is too early for you, this probably is not a good workshop.
Exactly.
It's just not a fit.
You know, my dad, I told you, he flew on a B-17 as World War II, shot down once over, luckily, Allied territory. And hard guy. He gets so mad at me if I was late. I mean, he would be just be so ballistic over it. But we were talking last week. We had workforce development in, and labor. I'm on finance. So an African-American lawmaker, Parkinson out of Memphis, he's a Marine. Okay. I don't think they like to be called former Marines. Okay. And we were talking about soft skills, showing up on time, keeping your word, that sort of thing. This Saturday. It's this coming Saturday. We only have 6 spots available. It's a first come, first serve. Okay.
They have to register.
Okay.
If you go to leadermill.org, there's a place to click on right there. You have to register. We've got some other workshops coming up. A few weeks we got a workshop on how to conduct yourself in a job interview.
Yeah.
We've
got the special forces.
We're working on a project where we're bringing some special forces guys in from Fort Campbell who are going to teach young men how to do land navigation with a topographical map and a compass and a protractor, and how to learn about your natural internal drift and sneaking up.
He's got some skills. Roger.
We've got a plumbing class to teach men how to change all the insides of a toilet tank.
Yeah.
We're talking about practical skills of utility, right? That make them the heroes in their homes and a hero to a neighbor who's in a rough bind.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of these workshops coming up, but they're all going to be in the morning.
And you're going to feed them?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to feeding
Coffee.
guys. I can meet them halfway. At least
Nick,
juice.
I always kid Nick and Mike Soronowski, great guys, and Mike now works for
Mike's
Dave
going to be one of the
Ramsey.
mentors Saturday.
Oh, is he? And Mike's a mechanic.
He sure is.
But
he's really there for the breakfast.
Well, you know what? There's times, and I probably shouldn't share this on the radio, but I'll be laying there in bed, and I'll think about that coffee and breakfast, and it's a little bit of a motivator.
Okay.
I'm just being real,
And 9 out of 10 guys in that room, it's the same thing.
But we got a lot of young guys in there. I bet that's the most diverse. We got probably 5 young African American guys in there. We got 1 or 2 Catholics in there. I think we have a Church of Christ person in there. Do we?
I don't think we let them in, but they
I don't think he's allowed to admit it.
Y'all don't hang out with the Protestant Southern Baptist, But we have it's such a cool. I mean, what do you think is the key to that group? Because it's really a.
Okay, let me brown nose the host here just for a second. We've got about 40 guys that show up pretty regular. I bet half of them are there because of a personal invitation by Mike Sparks.
Well, I hadn't got that many there. I've got a few.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe some of them have come and have not come back or something, but a lot of the bulk attendance there has to do a lot with Mike Sparks.
Yeah.
I will say also that of the 40 men that are in that room, fewer than half are actually members of Hope Fellowship.
But I think that's cool, though.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do.
Roger even comes.
Right. How'd that
Jeremy
happen?
started coming.
What?
I mean, we've got what I like about it, Mark's an engineer, Mark Lewis by trade. So he's a stickler on time. And boom, he's out at 9. Unless somebody's going through something, and we may bring some guy up there and pray with him. And but 9 o'clock. He's out of there.
That's right. That's right. We want to be respectful of people's time.
Yeah.
So if I have mentors that are giving their Saturday, the students need to be on time.
Right. Get in here.
And they need to be respectful because you can hurt yourself trying to change a flat tire if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want the car coming down on someone's
Well,
foot.
I had that 69 Camaro. I was changing the tire, and I had that. You remember the old jack, the bumper jack?
Yep.
I used that jack, and the car. I didn't block the tire, and that car fell forward, and I stuck the tire underneath it real quick, and it hurt that quarter panel. Oh. Oh yeah, Roger, why don't you? Before we end, tell us about what's going on next week.
Yeah, right.
Because I'll end up forgetting. Jump in there.
Yeah,
we
next
got
week we have a couple guys from Sonic Lodge there in Smyrna, and you wouldn't believe the history and the people from around there that actually built the town of Smyrna, and it dates back to 1807. It's going to be Gary LeFew and Paul Lamb, and like I said, Gary's actually got a book he has written, and it'll be on sale. He'll be doing a book signing the 29th. Over at the Sonic Lodge. It's their breakfast, which me and Mike will be at the Men of Hope, but we're going to leave there at 9 and go check out. We won't eat it. Well, maybe we might eat it twice. But anyway, we're going to run over right after that and join those guys. But he spoke a couple years at the Chili Cook-Off. Gary did, talking about that book, and I read it. And, man, it's really, if you're into history, you'll really, really like it. But that's about all. I wanted to get that in before we got out of here. But
well, I think this stuff's important. It saddens me when I see a country just. We're so blessed to live in this country. There's people dying to get in here. I mean, literally dying to get in here, and I think we take it for granted. I mean, if I had my way, every young man would go to the military.
Yeah.
You know, I know that sounds terrible, but
no, I've lived in countries that
just for 2 years,
2 year mandatory service.
Yeah, and even I don't know about women, but. You know, my dad was so hard. I mean, I literally peed my pants every time I went and seen him. He never could get over the military, like Sergeant Carter. And but he was, I mean, he was such by the book on everything, and the world doesn't work that way. People make mistakes. People show up late. Dan, sorry, they show up late.
I'm familiar. I know it happens. I know it happens.
But you know, you look at life. Like my dad would check for dust. My mom would tell me she just couldn't take. He would come in and check for dust, like put his finger over the a mantle, and if the dust, he would get mad. My mom just couldn't take it no more.
Yeah, when my dad
so
was.
So she took most of his stuff. She took the house. She took the car.
Oh,
she took everything.
When my dad retired, he was in General Motors 35 years, so he was used to running the engineering division of Cadillac. And so when he came home and retired, he thought his next project was home, and telling Mom how she could do that, but. She informed him it was not.
Do you ever carry? Are you married?
I am. Yes.
Do you carry your wife flowers?
You carry them. Yes.
No, you ever take your wife flowers?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I have asked the checkout girl, "Will this get me out of trouble?"
I carried 3. I carried 3 things. Hey, they're on sale at Food Line for $6 if you go to Food Line Smyrna. I just carry, and I rarely do that. I asked one friend of mine.
And the women love it when you mention the price, too.
Well, I shouldn't have said
on the
that.
radio.
Anyway,
you tell them you got a bargain.
Sale.
Yeah.
Anyways, I asked this friend of mine. I won't say his last name. His name is Tony, and I said, "Man, you ever carry your wife flowers?" He goes, "No." I said, "Why not?" Because he's a workaholic. He says she'd think I was cheating on her. He was so serious. You ever heard anybody say that?
I heard you say it just now.
Well, it's
yeah.
just crazy. Well, I wish y'all much success on this.
Thank you, Mike.
I know there's mothers listening that have a 14-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old that they may not be able to control. That's in the basement playing video games. Yeah. That how do you motivate these kids? Because I'm telling you, it's really scary.
Well, I think
for the future.
There's something in the core that we think will resonate.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
No, I
if we
appreciate
can come back
y'all.
and share what's going on, we'd be happy to.
Well, the timing, I call them God wink moments because, I've got my mentorship thing coming up. And then, you approached me. And shout out to Mark Lewis and all the guys over there that do such a great job. Kent Singleton, Kent Hayes, if any folks need help with CR, Celebrate Recovery. And they do it on
Friday nights.
Friday nights.
At Hope
time?
Fellowship.
Six.
There's a dinner at 6, I think.
Yeah,
and
dinner
then
at
the
6, and then
meetings at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and great program. One of the most effective programs that I've ever heard of is CR Celebrate Recovery.
Good people.
Shout out to Floyd Barrett, who's very involved with that. Folks, we'll catch up with you next week.